I'm Chelsea Smarr.
I'm Danielle Doherty.
And I am David Doherty.
What inspired you to become artists and musicians?
David, go ahead.
Okay, fine.
We'll go the other way this time.
Well, I got a guitar for my birthday when I was around 13, and ever since then I've just been playing whatever instruments I can really get my hands on. And that's pretty much it.
For me, I've been drawing and painting and creating for as long as I can remember. I was homeschooled growing up, so my mom would be very patient with me in my English lessons when I just had to doodle, the sentences that they were discussing. I just couldn't help myself. My mom would wait patiently while I was finishing the whiteboard, just had to draw out whatever was being discussed in that sentence. So it's just been something that's always been a part of my life and a gift that God's given me, and just something I really enjoy.
I started out doing piano lessons, and I was like the least disciplined person ever. And I would call my piano teacher and be like, my mom said that I can't come for lessons today because we're busy. And then I would tell my mom, the piano lesson teacher called and said that we can't come there today because we're busy, or she's busy. And eventually things kind of aligned and they caught on to what I was doing, and that was sort of how I got out of playing music. But then somehow, I guess decades later, I sort of got back into it and still presently am. And I'm a little bit more responsible and sort of more disciplined than I was back then. So it's stuck around.
What drives your passion for music and art?
Drives my passion. Honestly, I don't think I could live without creating, because I feel like that's what I was created to do. I wasn't just created to sit at a desk job and be content there. I think I would go crazy. I'd probably end up in an asylum somewhere. So, art's kind of just not really my escape, but I don't know, extension of myself. It's just part of who I am. So I think if I didn't create, I wouldn't be who I am. So I guess that drives me, because I want to be me.
I've always just enjoyed being able to escape to my room and play guitar and be able to enjoy that time just listening to music, playing music. There's something very therapeutic about it for me.
On my end, I guess I would just say seeing what other people are doing and the things that they're creating and the techniques that they're using, the sounds are, I wouldn't even say that they're inspiring, they're just they could be intense and just provoke so many different feelings regarding their tones, and it makes it interesting to be able to pull those tones out of places, even when it's just, I don't know, even incorporating silence, incorporating so many things. It's never not interesting, even if you're not making noise. So, yeah.
What is your favorite instrument/medium to work in?
Well, guitar, because it was the first instrument I started playing in, and the one I'm most familiar with.
Oh boy. Kind of depends on my mood sometimes. Right now I'm doing a lot of watercolor because that's kind of been my new thing, but I sometimes get in the mood to do other things. So I guess I'd say watercolor for now, because I like all the colors, and I like color because color is fun. But it really varies sometimes. Sometimes I want to pick up leather. Sometimes I really want to get in front of a pottery wheel and just throw some pottery. So it varies.
On my end, I guess I would say, even though I do play harp, I would say it's kind of the more electronic side of things. So using different kinds of pedals that sort of distort or change the tone of the sounds, and just the things that you could kind of create from that take on their own atmosphere, and it gets really interesting.
What is at the heart of your work? Is there a message? Is it a way to express yourself?
No.
I thought that was a yes or no question. That would be an easy way out. I like that.
Can you repeat the question?
We forgot already.
What is at the heart of your work? Is there a message? Is it a way of expressing yourself?
I just like doing it.
That's a really hard question to answer.
Do you want me to go?
Yes.
Okay. I'd say it's more about expressing myself and kind of trying to find my niche sort of in the art world. I feel like that's kind of still where I'm at, is just kind of figuring out what my style is and how I'm different than other people. And I feel like that's kind of where I'm at right now. It's just journeying through that and just kind of experimenting with it and having fun with it, or trying to have fun with it, because I went through some college stuff where it was a lot of very intense, this is the way you're supposed to do things, and now I'm kind of trying to break free of some of those habits, because it's like, not that that's not good for some things, but it's not really me, I guess, because they kind of try and conform you into this box, and I don't like the box. The box is not fun.
No boxes.
No boxes
No
for me.
No boxing.
I really enjoy just playing music because of everything that you can learn from it, and all of the, like you were saying about the different tones and how it evokes emotion. And it's really interesting just learning something new when I play guitar and just fiddling around and finding, hey, that was kind of cool. That's kind of what really drives me to play, is just that exploration and learning more than anything.
Is there any genre, instrument, or medium you'd like to try someday, but you haven't yet?
Violin. That's one that I've always been interested in. I've always loved Irish music and folk music, and that's one of the things I've wanted to try and pick up at one time during the future.
I would actually, on a similar note, I would say cello, just because like I've used different kinds of bowed or bows in general on my harp, and it's been such an interesting sound that it creates, but it's not the same as, like, of course, playing the real instrument as much as just touching random things with bows. So I guess I'd like the actual experience.
I would say, I mean, I've messed around with a lot of different mediums, but I really like to do metalworking sometime, like especially like metal jewelry making and that kind of thing. That's one medium I haven't really worked with a whole lot. I've done a little bit playing with some aluminum casting, but not very much. So I think that would be definitely one thing I'd like to try.
I do have like another interesting side note. It's just like when I tell people what I play, sometimes after meeting me they'll forget, and because my name is Chelsea, I think like they get things mixed up, so they think that I play cello.
Chelsea with a cello, it just, you know.
They're like, oh, you should bring your cello with you when you play this. I'm like, I don't have one. Yeah.
You know, it's bound to eventually, when you meet someone who says a pun, you'll end up with, "Cello, Chelsea."
Yeah.
Oh.
Puns. They're fun until they hurt.
That one just hurt.
Fun was very short-lived.
What do you do to recharge your creative energies?
Isn't being creative part of recharging?
Well, yeah, when you've been really working at something, like you're trying to get a song to come out right, but it's not clicking, or you're trying to work on a piece and, the lines aren't lining up, what do you do to just kind of, recenter yourself? Relax.
I do woodworking. Or play a video game. Either or.
Take a nap. Or sleep. It's usually like at night when I'm trying to work on stuff, so then it's usually when I'm getting tired and things aren't working anymore. I'm just like, it's just not working. I'm just gonna go to bed now.
I think, like, I'm someone where if I put it down, I won't go back to it for a month. So it's either, like, I work through it in that exact moment, or I put everything away. Just because, like, it could be annoying to kind of, like, assemble everything and to hook everything up just because I'm lazy. But, so it's either, like, you push through it or you don't. There's not really that much of a recharging kind of thing. It just happens or doesn't.
The laziness makes you diligent.
Yeah.
You're like, I'm going to stick with it.
Yeah.
Because I'm lazy. Wait,
I'm not going to do this again.
What's the favorite song of yours to perform? And Danielle, in your case, what's a favorite piece of work of yours that you've worked on?
I guess, like, recently there was a song that I wrote for someone, and things didn't work out with that person, but then, like, I guess I sort of realized more and more that the song wasn't really for them. I sent it to them and said it was for them, but it totally was not for them. It was my thing. But, like, being able to sort of take what that became and sort of, like, mutate it for my own purposes has made it a weird favorite of sorts. I don't know.
You want me to go?
Sure.
Okay. Well, I fiddle around with the guitar, and there's this one particular pattern that I really enjoy playing, and I don't have a name for it. I don't know what to call it, but it's by far one of my favorite that I enjoy playing because it's something I made up myself instead of picking up someone else's piece of paper and doing what they've written. I get to do something original.
For me, usually it's just like the newest project that I'm working on that usually is my favorite. You know, like I just recently did like a giraffe watercolor painting that I really, really like. So I think I always am trying to keep improving. So sometimes I look back on the other ones and I'm like, I can do better than that now. So it's always seems to be like sometimes the newest project that I'm really is my new favorite until I do the next project, and then it just keeps going.
All right. Who are some musicians and artists that you look to for inspiration?
Andy Mckee. He is a phenomenal guitarist, and I'd love to learn some of his stuff, but I am not nearly at his level yet.
I tend to look at a lot of YouTubers for tutorials and different ideas and some different stuff, so I mean I don't know all of their names, but that's usually where I kind of derive some of my inspiration. I usually try not to go too much into looking at a lot of other people's work. Like, I get inspired by different things I see online and stuff, but I try and not copy any of that style because I want to kind of retain my originality and try and figure out what's unique to me, but I still definitely get inspired by stuff I see online.
On my end, I would say it was actually someone who got me into playing again in the first place after the piano stuff. His name is Ron Stabinsky, and we met at this concert that he was playing at the Yingling Mansion. But there was something about him that made me feel like I had to talk to him for some reason. And the stuff that he was playing at that point, it was fairly like jazz standards, but he introduced me to sort of like a new way of playing, or not necessarily new, but for me it was new. It was just the idea of like freely improvising. And he talked about that these videos that he had where he would use like dental floss on like bare piano strings, and it would make these really intense and harsh kind of noises. And the idea of like someone who is able to pull these sounds out, and then to also be connected with other people who were doing similar sort of like innovative or different things. It was really it was eye-opening in a sense that maybe wasn't the best for people who actually like listening to things that don't sound like that, but it was really different.
If you want some interesting instruments to look up the Winter Garden like marble machine. It's really fascinating. It's like 1,000 marbles hitting xylophone keys, and it uses Legos of all things to power it. It's very interesting.
I thought you were talking about that wooden machine.
Yeah, it's a wooden machine, but if you look at the wheel, it acts like one of those old-fashioned music boxes where it has the pegs that push the things, and that's made out of a Lego Lego piece.
Oh, that's cool. I didn't know it was made out of Legos.
Mm-hmm. At least it looks like it's made out of Legos. I could be wrong.
I'll have to look that up and put that in the description. Alright. Do you have any advice for aspiring artists and musicians?
I guess like in general, don't be afraid of messing up. The idea of wrong notes or things sounding wrong, like, that wrongness doesn't really exist. It's just, it sounds like sounds can't be wrong. So I don't know, just don't be afraid of messing up, because there's nothing wrong that you could do. Just explore, have fun exploring.
Yeah, I would say the same thing. Have fun with it. Don't put too much pressure on yourself, because that's a mistake I make a lot, is I try to put my pressure on myself to, like, I want to do well, I want to be the best I can be, and sometimes that just stifles you. It doesn't really spur you on. Like, it's good to be determined, but it's not always good to, like, put pressure on yourself. So it's usually just good to have fun with it and enjoy the journey of learning something new.
Yeah, I definitely agree, but overall I'd say practice. Practice.
That's the word nobody wants to hear, Dave.
I know, but it's so true. You get so
out.
sick and tired of hearing
Leave! There's the door!
You get so sick and tired of hearing it from music teachers and stuff, but it's so true.
What do you do? Practice, practice, practice.
Yes, I know, but it that's the only way you're going to get better.
No, you're right. We all know you're right. We just don't like to hear it.
Sometimes it hurts to be right.
David Doherty, you're giving the hard facts.
That's why he's here.
Is there anything else you'd like to tell our viewers?
Besides, eat your vegetables.
Yes.
Stay in school.
I'd say if you have a passion for something, go for it. So it may be a process to get to it, but I mean, there's a reason why we have dreams. It's good to at least look into it, do research on it, figure out what it would take to pursue that, and go from there.
I think at first, like, things like that could be sort of intimidating to get into, and even once you're into them, they're still intimidating. So I guess just I don't know. I don't even know where I was going with this train of thought. I was just saying it. Just push through it. Don't chicken out or something. Despite the intimidation of it, I think that, again, once you practice, once you, like, work on things or work through things or just listen to things that inspire you, everything else kind of comes together on its own.
The most rewarding part of that is actually reaching that point where the practice and you get it.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden it's just like, oh my goodness, I understand now.
Yeah, that moment it clicks. Then it's all like, wow, this is all worth it now.
And I think also just, like, the idea that if you do have a teacher that you're working with, just because you're not clicking with that person doesn't mean that you're not, like, getting it. Sometimes it just takes the right person and the right kind of encouragement to get you to the place that you need to be at to be comfortable. So don't be afraid to try other things if you feel like what you're doing now isn't working for you.
Well said. Alright, well, thank you all for sitting down with us today.
You're welcome.
You're welcome.